seconds remaining.
Hello everyone, welcome to the greatest game on Earth. This is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
No.
Ah!
It's a different one.
That's crazy talk. Crazy talk.
You can't forget your first love.
Wait, are we meant to do this? Like we have this button, so I'm assuming we're meant to use
Oh yeah,
this.
we can absolutely use that.
Hi everybody, welcome to we have this.
Oh, you wanted something in the background?
We could screw with this.
10 seconds remaining.
It's a black wall.
I need to.
5
Sorry.
Where?
I'm gonna fanboy a little bit right now.
I'm gonna find a way where we can mess with that back wall. Okay, we need to be like in. We'll come back after this draft.
Yeah.
I'm going to find something. Hang on.
I'll do the heavy lifting right now. So I don't know how much EU you've been seeing recently, but most people have not. I mean, if you've been sitting on the stream, you've heard me say this for about 5 different matches now. But yeah, EU has been getting slept on, and for the most part, I don't really blame the public at large for doing so.
Did you just say slept on or slapped on?
Slept on.
Slapped on. Okay.
Yeah. So you know. People are not really paying too much attention to the scene. You see Liquid, you see Secret. They're making lands. The rest of the teams in the region, kind of not so many positive results, be it in qualifiers or lands or what, so be it. But, you know, there are some dark horse candidates to be able to dethrone what everyone are assuming are going to be the qualified teams, which would be Secret, maybe Crescendo, maybe Danish Bears.
After what I saw of Crescendo earlier on, like, I was one of those guys that went into my compendium and was like, you know, I'm going to put Crescendo
of course.
as number 2.
Okay.
Which was a little bit of a... I was stretching. Stretching was the best way to put that one, because I'm like, I don't know who's going to win. Europe could go any way. Like, don't underestimate Danish Bears. You know what? Alliance A, Alliance B, and all the other teams which are not Alliance anymore are going to do in the competition. So I was like, I'm going to put Crescendo there because I think their lineup is going to be good. They're going to feel they're prepared for this.
But
it does not feel that way.
But that's your boy.
You mean it's my boy?
How are you gonna do your boy dirty like that?
Well, if he loses, I get to cast with him.
That's true.
So, I always have mixed feelings about Syndrome, but Syndrome has the habit of qualifying.
That he definitely does. A habit.
Every TI.
Yes, he does.
He keeps doing it.
Shout out to Escape Gaming.
Oh, I like that one.
Oh, that's good. Especially if it's like right in the middle.
Actually, you know what we need? We need to be,
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is the summer.
Wait, I probably shouldn't write.
It's okay.
It's the wrong word to put in.
But Google knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, Google knew exactly what I was talking about.
The stream has no idea what we're talking about.
No, they don't. Okay. Yeah, that looks nice. I like that one.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see what you can do with this. Let's see what the teams can do with this as well. As once again, I will peek back
I like
at the
it.
draft.
Yeah, you're keeping us.
This is my cast technically. This is my rodeo.
Oh, this is you inside of Dota 2, is it? Okay. I'm also noticing my mic gets muted when I click out.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
not a great thing.
That's okay.
Oh, sorry everyone. All right, so yeah, let's look at. Okay, man, Lycan. Every time I see this guy, I'm just like, okay, how's your laning phase gonna go? How heavily are you going to get pressured, and how little farm are you going to receive?
Those are good questions to ask, and in the most recent game that I saw, Lycan was getting a lot of protection, actually, and managed to transition fairly well. But he was also in the mid lane, so it was 7-4-7 on a mid Lycan against a mid sniper, and he had protection of a Sand King early on. And so, you know, those are legitimate questions, like you said, like, what will happen to Lycan in the first few minutes? Is he going to get irritated a lot, or are they going to... Is his team going to treat him like a DK, where you just kind of dump him in a lane and you're just like, fend for yourself. You have Feral Impulse with some HP regen. You have, you know, 2 dogs to keep you company.
That never works.
It never works. It's a trap.
We saw it earlier today. In fact, I don't think Lycan has received a win in the European qualifier so far.
Aside from the last match, if that...
We're not going to count that match.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm not going to count that match is because when you go that far into a game, it just doesn't fucking matter.
True.
Wait, did he actually... Yeah, he won.
Of course he won. He went blade mail against a Bloodseeker, and every single time just
I'm
cracked open
I'm
those
thinking of
arteries.
the other game then. I'm thinking of the Loader Bristleback game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
which
that,
was-
that one did not work.
No, that one did not work.
That one's tattooed in my head as well, so I don't blame you for mixing the two up.
Yeah, go ahead. I was busy trying to entertain the fun stream.
You
here.
should have been.
Well, that's what we meant to do. Like, no one was on the fun stream. They're all watching the game. Like, I'll go over there and play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is what I do for the Dota community.
You're a man of the people.
Yeah, I suck at those games. Okay, Disruptor.
Fire team pick.
Not bad against the Puck, but I'm still a little concerned that the laning presence, if Night Stalker goes into a 4 role, Disruptor goes into a 5.
Yeah, Planet Dog is a big fan of 5 Disruptor, and it doesn't seem to be dependent on like any specific enemy heroes. It's really just whoever they'll make Disruptor work
Remaining.
depending on like what kind of lanes he is given. And you know, it's not really too roam heavy or too support heavy. It's just like he's a very reliable comfort pick for Planet Dog that you can never really go wrong with a Disruptor unless you're against like a Lifestealer or something.
Lifestealer pickup right now.
I haven't seen it that much, and I don't really know how much research these EU teams have been doing on each other. I imagine for TI qualifiers, you probably did all the homework necessary to be like, I mean, if I'm able to figure out that Planet Dog likes this hero, surely 4 Protect 5 was able to figure it out themselves, so
Maybe.
maybe.
I know a lot of teams sometimes just like, we're not going to prepare for this. We're going to prepare to be our own team. And that's it. We're just going to play our style of Dota.
It works for China every once in a while.
I like how you got to throw that in the end of it. Every once in a while.
Every
it
other
may
year
work.
it works.
Yeah. I like this answer from 4 Protect 5. So you bring in the Bane. This actually gives them combo options in the near future as well if they want to run either like Lina, Mirana, things like that. But more importantly, it's the lockdown on the Lycan, so no high movement speed from him.
Yeah, and Bane has been seeing a surprising resurgence that isn't dependent on like combos. So whenever Bane was initially kind of breaking into competitive, it was always like, okay, we've got like a Mirana arrow setup with a Nightmare or something like that. But Bane as a whole is just like a pretty stable pick. Brainsap is just too good of a nuke to ever really have to be concerned about. It's just the problem is he will oftentimes struggle for levels. And if Bane does fall behind, then sometimes like Nightmare will lose a little bit of relevance. Fiend's Grip, if you don't get it early on in the game, like there's going to be too much stuff to break it. In this game, there's a lot of stuff to be concerned about. You got Void, you got Crippling Fear off the Night Stalker, and off of Disruptor you got Static Storm and the Glimpse. So Bane is really going to have to be very optimistic if he's planning on landing some Fiend's Grips.
They could actually mess with them so hard though. Like you run Veno, Tree, Bane, try off and leave the Puck up on top lane. And they're putting actually Puck versus a Legion. I don't know if Puck's really going to if Puck, unless Puck goes mid.
10 seconds.
Yeah, Puck has been taking world tours around the map, but really.
It's like off lane, mid lane.
5 seconds remaining.
Or just like a dodge safe lane type situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
the hero is very versatile, which is why I know Zai had mentioned it in some interview. It's just like Puck is like the crux of a lot of things. And some recent tournament, Puck had like an abysmal win rate, and so everyone's just like, Zai's dumb. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But then you look at EG's win rate with the hero, and you know your opinion may change.
Anyone that calls side dumb is an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, but I just want to. I'm just trying to work out like how 4 Protect 5 assault the Lycan, because if they do that, in my mind, this game should be. I'm not gonna say pretty well won for them, because right now they still don't have a high ground breacher. Like they got everything they can siege with, like Venomans, they can just throw down wards. They've got really good AOE for team fight control, be it through Dream Coil, Tree Roots from Overgrowth, and the Venomancer ulti is an issue.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, you had said that your biggest issue with Lycan is in the early laning phase, and right now, if they do run that aggressive try that you had suggested with the Venobane and Train Protector, that is a very mean lane for a Lycan to have to deal with just a Disruptor support. And so maybe they won't even need to cross that bridge of perma-shapeshift Lycan, because if they manage to bully him enough in the early phases of the game, DK is going to be able to push towers, as you said. Didn't really have one, with just Veno wards being the only reliable source, but throw some Dragon Knight on top of that, and all of a sudden towers start looking a lot more vulnerable.
The pitch is not big enough.
Are we even going to go back to the camera?
I can change the aspect ratio,
That's fine, just stretch it.
and then we just We could do that, and then we just do that.
Oh. I'm feeling...
That's, you know what? I'm okay with that. We're
I'm
gonna mess with it.
okay
It's,
then.
it looks like shite, but hey, that's the point with BTS. Dragon Knight for 4.5, so really sustainable in the mid lane. It gives the tank as well as the pusher I was thinking of. The Razor I'm seeing having issues, however.
Against who specifically?
Against most of 4 Protect 5's draft. I don't think in the laning phase you'll have as much of a problem. But I'm thinking when it comes to team fights, you have a very hard time keeping the static link up.
Yeah, that's true. There's definitely a lot of potential kite, mainly with like all the slows and the roots that 4 Protect 5 have. But if he manages to get like a BKB, suddenly life becomes a lot easier for him because, I mean, Bane, as we said, like he has the Fiend's Grip, but it's somewhat unreliable against what Planet Dog have up against this Bane, and same thing with Treant Protector. Like, if you play the game of chicken, more often than not, 4 Protect 5 are going to be looking for counter initiation as opposed to initiation because Night Stalker's going to be providing tons of vision, Legion Commander's going to be taking advantage of all that vision, and Lycan's probably going to be doing his own thing off on other sides of the map, so I imagine that this Razor's going to be pretty well protected by the rest of his team.
I can see that happening too. At the same time, like I just want to lean towards 4 Protect 5's overall team fight. I do think Planet Dog should win this game anyway.
Okay.
Like it's just putting it very very plainly out there, but 4 Protect 5 has things to work with.
Yeah, I'm mainly because I haven't seen too much
this,
Bane.
This is our camera shot. I try to find somewhere nice to go. What is with this chroma key though? It's not taking out green. Like we don't have green on us. We have no green whatsoever.
Listen, man, they just pay me to show up and talk.
It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. BTS, get a better studio. Alright. In game we go. Alright. I'll click inside the game as well. Sorry everyone down at TV, we're screwing with your audio. It's just because I'm messing around.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what this Bane is able to get away with, because the hero is... It's a feast or famine type hero, I feel. If you fall behind, you will stay falling behind. If you manage to get a good lead, all of a sudden, Bane becomes like one of the most terrifying supports to have to deal with.
Okay, sorry. This is just fantastic. They both TP down. One's now going to D-ward, the other one doesn't have a sentry.
Aww.
But it's because the Observe ward, they they know that both wards are, we're down.
That's a heartbreaker for Puck, though.
And they got the other, they did get the other Dire Observer ward out. 4 Protect 5 did actually TP at 2 players, one to the tier 1 tower and one to the bottom shrine. So they're still able to get the releasing some of the rotation coming out from Planet Dog.
Yeah, and that Observer ward that the Disruptor plays is going to be pretty effective moving forward because it gives you room to find Puck to put a Thunderstrike on him. It's going to give you room to maybe get a Glimpse once Glimpse gets more and more levels, and so you may not... Okay, never mind, Treant's here.
He only just got that in... I would say only just got that in range.
I'm actually surprised that he places the sentry this far north, though, because, like, I guess he's not really planning on spending too much time joining Puck in this lane, because otherwise, like, the sentry ward is still going to be able to detect a guised-up Treant on the Radiant side.
Yeah, you'd expect him to actually, like, plant it down here. He might have been a little bit worried that the Observer was planted, like, higher.
True.
But even then, like, you could still put the sentry down this far.
Yeah, and he's going to be spotted out if he moves a little bit north, and Disruptor's going to be well aware of what the laning... Oh, okay, or he can just punch him.
This is a tree with an Orb of Venom against a Disruptor.
Yeah, he has nothing to be concerned about.
Like, this is the weakness, right? Like, you look towards the safe lane, it's like, okay, we're going to babysit Lycan. With what? Okay, it's a Disruptor. What's the Disruptor going to do? He's going to Thunder Strike onto a tree and Protector with 700 HP. Who then becomes Carnivorous, just munches on a tree anyway, and...
Cannibalistic.
Cannibalistic?
Yes.
Yeah, true. It can't be carnivorous, can it?
No, he's still vegetarian.
He just eats his own.
Correct.
I wonder if he would see trees as meat.
Well, I don't even know if he has blood, really. Because I think that's the base definition, maybe?
Would it? Well, that would be red meat. Technically, you could say he's got green meat. And sap is the blood.
Oh, now that I like.
Yeah. The sap of trees.
Okay.
Be like those trees from...
You're going to name some old movie.
No. Game of Thrones.
Oh,
you know,
okay,
the ones
never
that like they cut them and they have red sap.
Right.
So it actually looks like they bleed.
We'll see if this man bleeds, because he's definitely intent on making this Disruptor's life very unpleasant.
Yeah, J4 can't stay in this lane when this kind of stuff happens, but they ran the puck on the bottom lane. So you've actually got some magical burst damage to work with here, instead of just pushing the Veno into the lane.
Yeah, because Veno, he's pretty safe up here. Bane is, in the vicinity. Legion Commander has, a fairly good recovery plan if she wants to go into the jungle, but she wants to stay in the lane and contest this Venomancer. But the poison DOT makes it very difficult to just stand inside of a creep wave and go for Moment of Courage procs, and you can't purge it off really reliably with press the attack either.
I found the solution to bottom lane, and I think Swift Ending has thought the same thing. Get a Quelling Blade, and then just start chopping all the trees down.
That's my poison of choice against Timbersaw. Whenever I'm laning against Timbersaw, it's just destruction. Smokey the Bear would be very upset with me, but I just destroy every single tree in the vicinity.
Ah. Well, you notice J4, like the 2 tangos he's munched on were the trees just on the side.
And then he proceeds to eat that 1 sentry that was remaining, so he's very safe now. Disruptor has 1 sentry left, but he needs to be very quick on the draw.
He commit. Oh, is he seeing the tree line? They don't
Just
see
one
each
more
other's.
tango.
Okay, now they'll see it.
Yeah.
It just seems like very odd that you commit the 2nd sentry straight away for that, especially when the creep wave is pushing back up again.
Well, that's the safest time to do it, because there's no way that like Puck is not going to be able to help out, and Tree and Protector's kind of retreating.
I mean, Tree committing his.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because he knew exactly where that sentry ward is. He should also know that ward was going to time out in like a minute and a half, so he wasn't the one under pressure to try and counter that.
But even then, even if he's detected, like, Disruptor had to burn a salve very early on. He has 1 tango remaining. He's not, I mean, for what it's worth, Lycan is still managing to get some farm, about as much as his DK, or as much as the enemy DK mid. But moving forward, it's go. That's on you.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. Legion Commander goes down to a Bane plus a Venomancer.
It shouldn't happen.
And okay, yeah, so it's kind of on you, but at the same time, I don't blame you. Nightmare plus Brain Sap. It's just a Brain Sap level 1, and they had Gale used, but it's no DOT on the Gale. It's just level 1 for the slow. So, yeah, Legion Commander may be getting a little bit too over-aggressive, because all she has is Stout Shield. Doesn't even have a 4 Poor Man's either.
That's just disgusting for a Legion Commander. Like, you can't fight in that lane.
Yeah, it only gets worse from here.
Yeah. And it's only going to get better for the Venomancer. Like, Venomancer's going... He's actually going to go for DPS build. He's going to go for Treads with the Venomancer. I was kind of wondering, like, how he'd approach that, having, like, Bane in the lane. Are you a fan of, like, Arcanes when you run a safe lane Veno?
More often than not, I'll see Aquila, and Aquila kind of, like, splits the average between the two. It provides enough sustain for your entire, like, lineup, and whenever you start pushing with your wards, you can just toggle the Aquila, and all of a sudden pushes become a lot easier. But I think Treads are fine, because I think if Bane manages to get this kind of good start, then Bane can go to other lanes, and you want Treads for a very self-sufficient Veno, and that's already starting to happen. Legion Commander has left the lane, Bane's like, well, I wonder where she is, and starts invading this Radiant jungle. Welcome
to nighttime. Bane got scattered out by the Observe Ward, so they know that he came for the rune. They'll know he's also leaving.
And Night Stalker's on the prowl. They've got 1 point in Howl, as Lycan has not really gotten that much, as we said before, in that safe lane, but may be able to do something with Kaiser as he gets a static link on the mid lane.
It's just going to steal a little bit of damage. But even if you go onto the DK, 2 points up of Dragon Blood, plus it is only level 1 living armor, but it's enough that potentially DK can just get back into the tower, and they've already moved the Tree and Protector to the mid.
Exactly, and Night Stalker is looking to find someone in this offlane.
He'll find one. Already got the Observe Ward back behind the tower, so sees the Tree and Protector headed down south.
And Puck is feeling pretty safe in comparison. Even though Tree and Protector is not really babysitting, there's enough vision that this Night Stalker is kind of skeptical about going in on this Puck. And plus, Disruptor doesn't really have that many levels either. He's kind of moving in now, but he might get rooted now.
Sorry, I'm kind of just watching Dancing Dragon on the... I just wanted to see if he was the one that was soloing up the Legion, doing all of his work.
He can get away with it.
He almost did. Like, he's got the 2 points up in Brain Sap.
Yeah, like, they'd see this ward. This ward's about to time out, and 33 immediately is like, I gotta hit this shrine. And now mid lane.
This is
Flash
better.
Strike.
And the double TP's instantly coming in from 4 Protect 5. The Bane will end up cancelling his, but that's enough intimidation just to back off for Planet Dog.
Poor Treant Protector. Was having such a grand old time bullying that Disruptor early on, but now is kind of struggling to find his place. Puck is kind of... He's been provided a safe enough lane that you can leave him to his own devices, assuming that Milan doesn't get the silence off quick enough, which might happen.
Well, here it comes in. Silence will be there. 5-1 charges. Wall is up. So he should be able to orb and phase shift. No, he doesn't have time for it.
Yeah, oftentimes you will see a lot of Night Stalkers go for maybe that second point in Hunter, second point in Void for the nuke damage, but against this dire team, that early value point in Crippling Fear is just too good to pass up, as now he might get another kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, this time they can just go the Treant Protector.
And Milan doesn't show himself, which is very smart, because now they still don't know what the
they
Night
give
Stalker
another
is.
one. Sire Strike.
There we go.
He moved off the lane to start his farming. Now J4 will lock him inside the kinetic field. Support moves over. They got Plasma Field level 4 available. The damage to Sire Strike with the body block from J4 will be more than enough to find the kill. And Planet Dog now up 3-1.
Yeah, this is the kind of first night that you always dream of as a Night Stalker. He even has this Iron Talon as a recovery plan. He was just like, if I couldn't find any kills, I can just go use this Hunter in the night attack speed to go get some farm in the jungle. But why farm creeps when you can farm heroes instead? This synergy with the Lycan Howl as well, 3 points in it, just makes all these global ganks so powerful.
And this is the danger zone now for 4 Protect 5. It's the fact that the Dog is just able to get, well, in fact, literally the Dog on the bottom lane is getting space, getting farm. The net worth, he's now sitting at the 3rd on the net worth. Razor takes #1 position over the Venomancer, who had a huge control over this lane. Treant Protector's gone. Tries to go invis, Dust is there, and the Thunderstrike from J4 will finish the job.
This tower is almost sure to fall afterwards. They're kind of flanking Kaiser on this mid lane, but he's very tanky in his own right. Like we talked about DK having that Dragon's Blood passive, but right now there's no safe way to go on a Razor without him starting to stack Link.
Well, Dream Coil tries to hold him there. You've already got the Storm going off. The Orb will connect, but Razor tanking through it. Able to have those raindrops taking up a lot of the damage. He goes 38 stolen as well from the Dragon Knight.
Glimpse.
A glimpse pulling the Bane back. Plasma Field. Some decent damage to Dancing Dragon. Not enough to find the kill just yet. Disruptor. Now he's the man in trouble.
Nice
Plasma
dead.
Field still on cooldown for the moment, and they're not going to dive any deeper. Just the one hit in the tower to start the dot effect.
Yeah, Glimpse may have been a little bit overzealous. They thought that maybe Kaiser had stolen enough damage, would have been able to finish off that Bane, but Bane's pretty tanky. It's another reason why the support kind of, even if he doesn't get that many levels, he's pretty inherently sustainable, even without any items, but at least Razor survives, and that's the most important thing for Planet Dog. You can give up a Disruptor for that.
Yeah, not just the fact that Razor survives. Again, like it having more space. Legion Commander. That's some heavy rotations coming in from 4 Protect 5. Legion is now hit level 7 on the top lane. Picked up Phase Boots. And she's one of the few heroes early on that can deal with Venomancer level 4 wards, just because of the attack speed she gets.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that he still hasn't gone for a Poor Man's Shield, and yet it's still, like, it's max overwhelming odds. Not even press the attack, not even Moment of the Courage, and she's still managing to sustain really well against
Mill instead.
Venomancer.
Brain Sap, Orb, and Rift. It's enough nuke damage when you got the Invis Rune to set up for it all.
He has Dream Coil as well if they want to go on Swift Ending, but he's a tanky man, so don't find him.
Might have actually been enough to at least beat out Lycan Form.
There are maybe some
Oh,
TPs.
Side Strike. He needs some help right now. The Glimpse actually pulling back Side Strike into the wall. 89 damage has been stolen, but this that Eye of the Storm trying to get in range. Now coming in from behind. 4 Protect 5. There goes Unova out. And the slow. They lock him in. Legion Commander. She'll win the duel and potentially will survive. A lot of dot effects on him, but Dancing Dragon will be the double kill for Razor.
In comes the dog.
Yeah, he's moving high speed in. Ended up losing your Night Stalker. Dog underneath the tier 1 tower. Not exactly where he wants to go. Doesn't have the support control anymore.
That Venomancer going down is really costly. Unfortunately, Bane did not have the mana for Nightmare, and obviously Nightmare is not a guarantee. It's not like a grave or anything that you can be assured that you're not going to lose the duel, but it's going to be something that will be important moving forward. Once again, assuming that Bane is able to get any of these spells off, which is a tall order.
Life is just hard for him, man.
I don't blame him. But
Venomancer had the easiest one. Let me just hit R, and all of a sudden everything is great. 5 actually went for the hand of Midas to start with. Kind of feel it's always a little bit odd, but has to lean you towards the lines of either he's trying to rush up into level 25 and gets the plus 30% experience, or he is really planning on taking the movement speed.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, he wants that, wait, movement speed?
Yeah, you have plus 30 movement speed or plus 30% experience gain. I'm talking about the Veno.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'm just thinking, like, for him, because if he gets the level 4 wards, I still don't even think they help him out.
I think generally speaking, no one really gets a Midas just for their 10, but rather their 25 is the bigger thing on the table.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they don't have the best ways of sieging high ground. You had said it earlier in the draft. They picked the DK maybe to help supplant some of their... Oh, top lane.
Yeah, just starting with a Nightmare. Fiend Script, he's getting in behind the tree line to commit it if he needs to. And they do want this kill. Dream Coil and Fiend Script both be committed onto the same target. But now it's all going to be Planet Dog. They come in with a heavy amount of damage. Puck will fall. You may have lost your Legion Commander, but Razor's ready to rampage. But maybe with the Gale. No Nova available. 10 seconds on the cooldown for it. Bane's moving up as well. Brain Scepter available. Looking for that nuke over towards the Razor. Takes a little bit of damage first. Now, Brain Sat gets outside of the Static Storm.
In comes the Doggy Man.
Yeah, run forward.
Poison
Living
Nova's
armor.
up, though.
Living armor protect. They
Over
wanted...
goes?
Oh,
no.
the glimpse.
It's only level 5.
Goodbye. He's still going to give living armor to the lane.
Yeah, that's true. And overall, for Protect 5, only have to lose the puck after that engagement, but not really able to find anything with that extended engagement. They could have possibly spent the Poison Nova if they were confident about it. After killing off that Legion Commander, though, I think they were satisfied with what they were able to find.
Yeah.
Although Legion Commander wants vengeance. Doesn't have a Blink Dagger, though.
They just shrined up and they're coming back for the kill. There's no mana on this Bane. One stick charge won't be enough. They may even scatter out the fact he threw the ward down. That's a quick and easy kill. Aggressive ward behind the tower. And they're going to siege up the Venomancer.
Yeah, it's nighttime, and it's natural night as well, so even though that darkness times out, they still have plenty of time with bonus Howl, which was spent to kill off that Bane, and obviously Nightstalker now has 3 points in Void, still that 1 point in Hunter in the night, but he has quickly migrated his way over to the mid lane, which there's no setup yet, so I'm kind of curious what he's doing there, but he places a very, very deep ward as well on the mid lane, so Milan is getting work done all over the map.
It's like they're planning their own pushes. Get the Observer wards in behind the towers.
He's priming them.
Yeah. Well, the ward's going to last for a while. And the fact that Lycan, once he gets the armor, plus the Mask of Madness, he's already got the Mask of Madness, but having both of them is going to be very aggressive dog. And Millen's managed to find the puck. Silence more chipping away at him.
And there's a TP rotation coming in.
Oh, Dream Call, they're going to commit to the Night Stalker, starts his own TP, but both Fiend Script, again, not the greatest chaining of abilities, but it should be enough to hold the Night Stalker in position to kill him off.
Yeah, you could have theoretically used the Nightmare just to cancel the TP, and then immediately, or well, I mean, the Dragon's Tail would have done it as well, but it's a relatively short cooldown, and Bane really needs to show up to all these fights, all these kills as possible, and again, anytime he gets a successful Fiend's Grip off, he has a smile on his face, because they're going to come far and few between.
Well, movement again, Dancing Dragon, aggressive Observer ward time for him.
I'm surprised that he's focusing on aggressive observers, because unlike the Radiant team, Dire don't really have anyone that can take advantage of these, like, because, I mean, your heroes will be pushing as 5, your teams will be looking for fight as 5 for the most part. It's not like you have pick-off heroes that can take advantage of deep, aggressive wards, but yeah, Bane is roaming around really inside the Radiant jungle right now, but not really finding anything.
Is that one actually blocking? It looks like it. It's a little.
Yeah.
It's a little bit hard to.
So I don't think it's blocking, but it's like very, very difficult to counter. Like it's almost impossible to counter.
Well, top lane. Tree Protector has to commit the overgrowth just to get invis, but Dust has been brought in. And a dual winner, plus 20 now for the Legion Commander. Combining with the Howl, it's 194 damage coming in from the Legion.
Yeah, the team fight of Radiant is incredibly intimidating, and this is before any real items have come out. Like we said, Legion Commander does not have a Blink Dagger yet. Swift Ending does have that Mask of Madness completed, but he's still working his way over to that armlet, and the supports of Planet Dog also don't have very much, but they're still managing to get a lot of work done across the map.
Tier 1 for Tier 1.
And Swift Ending is just going to proceed to take advantage of all this vision that has been gifted to him by his supports. Milan still has a little bit of nighttime left, or just 10 seconds really, but they're just going to continue marching down that lane as
they're looking for the
getting
Razor.
pushed.
They need a Razor to reveal himself. So they can start with the Dream Call. Fiend Script's available. Here comes your Disruptor. The Fiend Script actually being used straight on top of the Razor and
Nice
the Nova.
Storm.
But that damage won't be enough. The Storm actually holding in the puck. And now Lycan triggering that Wolf Form. But who's he go for? The fight's pretty well split up. So the only one he can move for is like directly towards the Tier 1 tower, which is not where he wants to go.
I mean, they should be satisfied with that. Razor survived. You didn't get any kills, but it was a quick enough rotation that you managed to blow a lot of ultimates off the side of 4 Protect 5. Dragon Foam was actually not used, surprisingly, but the Dream Coil was spent, Fiend's Grip was spent, Poison Nova was spent, and those are 3 fairly important cooldowns that may open up the potential to go for this mid-tier 1 on Dire if Venomancer does leave and not plant a bunch of Plague Wars, which might be the case.
Well, he's doing it for now. Venomancer's actually heading down to the south, which is... Okay, so he's just here for the Shrine. Really easy for Venomancer to farm this area too. You can actually farm so much just by putting a couple of Plague Wards on top of this hillside. You can take 3 camps at the same time.
And he's dealing a lot of damage just by himself with no Plague Wards, but he's working on that. Hurricane Pike has the Dragon Lance completed, and it's not really the most ideal item against a Lycan necessarily, because Lycan can happily close that gap, but against a Razor, being able to break that being able to break that static link is pretty important, and same thing with Legion Commander. Sometimes you will be able to get that opening before the dual cast is completed.
Alright, so Lycan's going to go for his BKB. Then Fiend's Grip and Overgrowth can be the only things that really hold him in position. He won't care so much about the initiation coming in from the puck. Blink Dagger's also rapidly approaching for Legion Commander.
Ooh, that TP. If Puck had just walked a little bit more down south, might have found him. Cancelled it with the Yules, but yeah, Yules is such an irritating item to have to deal with as a Lycan. Especially like if they come out in more than just one, because oftentimes you'll be like, well, okay, once I see the Dream Coil come out, and whatever, stuff like that, I'm pretty fine just breaking it, but if he continues getting CC'd, buy enough time for this Terrain Protector who's been actually working towards his own Midas. 4 Protect 5 are definitely playing for the late game.
Wait, Tree actually still wants to go back for Midas.
Yeah. I mean, if your Veno built the Midas, you've got the Puck who can hit 25 theoretically at some point, get that his own GPM, or its own GPM talent. And the later the game goes, I would probably give the edge to 4 Protect 5, as odd as it sounds, as Terrain Protector goes down.
At the same time, middle lane gets initiated on. They really want to kill this Lycan, but Armlet up. Turns the Howl on. Dangerous with this many dots on you to try and Armlet toggle, so he goes back in to beat into the Dragon Knight. Lifesteal out, that's one way to survive through it all. And then Legion, okay, she'll press the attack him up.
But they still can't push down this tier 1 tower. 5 is just constantly posted up here, which it means that he's not farming, but still, you're maintaining a lot of map control, and that's so critical against a Night Stalker, because every tower that goes down, you suddenly get a massive amount of range, and Bane's trying to deal with that, and it's finding out the hard way.
Living Armor plus Brain Sap, he knows the Night Stalker can't force him out of here.
Yet. He needs to enjoy those moments, because once he starts getting silenced in team fights, the Night Stalker's definitely going to get the last laugh.
I feel like you keep talking like Bane, like he's going to have a nightmare of a time. He lives in those situations. Insert bad dad joke number 1.
He absolutely does, and he's not as far behind as I was initially scared of. Like, he's managed to complete the Arcane Boots on the Bane. He's hit level 8, which is pretty respectable. It's not as bad as it could be for Bane, and now that the Puck is completing items of its own. It's got the Yules completed, 700 gold away from the Blink Dagger. Then maybe you don't need to be that concerned of all of the silences that Planet Dog have, because they'll want to spend it on Puck as opposed to spending it on the Bane.
They might also be able to start off with the DK initiation. Shadow Blade on Slash Strike. Get the better information, pick off the backline, get rid of the Disruptor in the early stages. Except everyone's coming top, and they're coming for Slash Strike. Bane's in the neighborhood.
They think it's too good to be true. Legion could have got the duel, but they're like, this has to be a bait.
They got the duel.
Wait, what?
Wait, they're not sticking around to finish the job!
33 was pinging, he was like, guys!
Does anyone want to help?
Can I get a win, please?
I require somebody to allow some extra damage.
Oftentimes, it's sometimes in your best interest to be like, that's a guaranteed kill, we can move on. But it's a Legion Commander duel victory. That's worth the confirmation.
Yeah, they really want it more. But Lycan's pushing in pretty heavily now. Beating into tier 2 towers, and Lycan's gotten past his danger zone of weakness in laning phase, weakness in team fights.
Yeah, that's going to spike up big time once that BKB is completed for him. It's going to help so much, because really the only thing you have is Overgrowth and Fiend's Grip, and he, unlike many other heroes, Lycan doesn't need to enter the fight BKB'd. He can use the BKB on reaction, especially because there are no real stuns to be concerned about. They trade a tier 2 top as 4 Protect 5 take a tier 1 mid.
But the TPs are coming in. Legion Commander sitting in behind the tree line. She actually TP'd in to an area where they had no idea. They dragged back Slash Strike, but where is your detection?
Now Lycan's running around.
Oh, that actually connected. The Shadow Blade was there. Lycan will end up falling on top of his own shrine, and well, they Nightmare over on the Legion Commander, so she's not ready to give her control. Bane, quick Fiend's Grip, but the wall is perfect. Actually, the wall didn't get up in time. Thought it was, but he gets out. Now the duel will kick in. And the damage output for Planet Dog is whittling away as they're losing too many heroes. Razor's about to fall as well. It isn't enough damage with the overwhelming odds. And press the attack will allow 33 to break free for a short period of time. Puck orbing away. Venomancer still got a Plague Ward left if he can get away from the silence. Cannot do so, which means Legion Commander can just TP out. Night Stalker will not be so lucky, however, as 5 is able to find that kill.
That's not the defense that Dog were hoping for. They went for those TPs straight onto, well, Legion went straight onto the tier 1 because they were pretty guaranteed to find some quick duel victory, but that Shadow Blade by DK just took everyone on Planet Dog by surprise. That glimpse should have been a guaranteed duel victory as soon as he came back, but immediately went into Shadow Blade. Everyone just panicked because they couldn't find out where the DK went, and Lycan, meanwhile, was on his Ancients, getting Dream Coiled, running around in circles, chasing his own tail. Couldn't have any support from his team because they were busy fishing for the DK, and 4 heroes go down for Planet Dog.
And that big opportunity they had, the big experience advantage they had as well, is about 6,000. And they've lost about half of that, and they did lose their gold lead. Even more problematic is the fact that this Venomancer is going in for full DPS build. Originally he was looking at the S and Y, and now he's switched himself into a Manta style.
Yeah, I imagine that he's getting pretty bothered by this Night Stalker silence, and so he just wants something to be able to mitigate that.
Yep.
And so, I mean, it's a solid agi item in general, so I think it's the right choice as Night Stalker breaks, goes to low ground.
Yep. Spun up and towards the air. They don't have enough control just yet. Maybe they do when DK arrives with the Dragon Tail. Night Stalker wanting to start his run up. He triggered the shrine. He's able to do so. They're going in deeper. No one's able to reach him in time to help him out, but
I don't really blame E-Skills for not going for the Overgrowth. It's just that that Hood came up at the perfect time for Milan, and he was able to survive against the Leech Seed, he was able to survive against the Illusory Orb, and immediately hit the Shrine. And then, even though it turned to daytime, oftentimes you're like, oh great, now Night Stalker is like free pickings, but he had created such a big gap, and I mean, Overgrowth did get that nerf a few patches ago that it's not the flat 70-second cooldown, and he only has the level 6 Overgrowth right now. But, you know, it's go for the guaranteed kills.
33 is not going to find any kind of easy kill. No guarantee for him, hence back up. To get a lot of information, however. But you're fine waiting this out. You're about to get the BKB for the Lycan, so why pressure it this early on? Keep your farm going. Finish up your pipe. Finish up your BKB. And they could look at that for both sides as well. Legion Commander is getting closer to hers.
Yeah, and at that point, I don't think 4 Protect 5 have the items necessary. They're going to have to rely pretty much exclusively on getting good initiation, because if Dog are just sieging these towers, like one of the big advantages of picking a Train Protector is you get to keep your towers up forever. Two of your towers have gone down in the top lane. You've managed to keep this mid tier 1 on life support for a very long time, and I definitely remember at one point where it was almost certainly going to go down, but nearly back up to full HP. But once Dog completes these BKBs that you mentioned, then all of a sudden a lot of Train Protector's usefulness goes down the drain.
I'm watching this Venomancer. I swear, like, it's almost, it feels like a Meepo in so many ways.
Okay, let's hear this.
Just because he's getting so many levels to hit the 25, but the critical thing about a Meepo is he's able to keep farming and keep getting items that, like, push him forward.
Okay.
But with this Venomancer, with a full DPS build, I'm wondering if he's actually going to go for the Poison Sting Slow. It was the new one because he used to have, like, the really high buyback time. Like, it was like, I think it was a minute that was taken off his death timer.
Right.
But now it's 14% Poison Sting Slow.
Correct.
How much is actually going to completely screw with heroes like Razor and Legion who try and close the distance? Heroes like Night Stalker. Like it, I don't think he's going to have as many issues, but...
No, because he'll have the wolf form, but, I mean, you do have to keep in mind that this Poison Sting Slow will penetrate through BKB, so yeah, like you said, Razor, he may be able to build some mitigation, but he's still going to get kited, and it's rarely Razor the hero that's getting kited, it's usually him doing the kiting, but yeah, Venomancer is quickly approaching that. Now, the question is, do you want to double down on winning teamfights, or do you think that it's in the safest interest to go for pushes? And
I think they have to win the team fight.
exactly.
Like level 4 Plague Wards will not be enough to, like, the upgrade to Plague Wards with the 3 HP and damage on it, it doesn't make enough of a difference.
It doesn't.
Like, the Plague Wards are fantastic if you're going up against someone like Rubik, because then you guarantee, like even if he steals your abilities, you're still able to keep the control in the lanes. Or if you're up against someone like Shaman, the upgraded Plague Wards just destroy Shaman's own wards. But yeah, I don't know. In this game, I think they need to find kills, a lot of kills, and there we go. Fiend Script, Nova, Gale, everything you've got. Legion Commander has to press the attack, but not gonna happen.
Yeah, that was clean. Only having to spend the Fiend's Grip, well, I guess the Poison Nova also, but it doesn't really look like Planet Dog are interested in taking advantage of that cooldown being spent. And yeah, this Venomancer more and more is becoming a very strong traditional Agi carry. Going for those Plague Wards would just more be an irritation as opposed to like a game-winning maneuver. He's
going all out damage, man. It's got to be the Poison Sting Slow. He just went for the plus 75
damage.
damage.
You want that full right tree?
Oh yeah. Like, this is one of those things where you almost build like Bloodthorn going later into the game.
Okay.
Gives him his mana regeneration because he doesn't have like a Crystal Main to work with. You may notice I play a lot of Venomancer.
Do you play it the core style though?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I respect that a lot because I guess it's not easy to execute for sure.
Oh, it's horrendous to execute because most of the time you never reach it in time.
No.
So going for this Hand of Midas is and every successful kill the 5's able to pick up.
Bot lane.
It works quite nicely. Yeah, he can't overgrowth. His Solar Crest might buy him time, and they can Dreamcall to create some space. Now they can overgrowth, but nope. Glimpse pulling back the puck.
And the Void going to finish off the Treant, so down he goes, and that is a level 2 overgrowth cooldown spent, but that also means that no heals for this mid-tier 1 tower, and it's going to go down unless if DK can manage to get a quick rotation.
I'm loving the way Bane played this. Middle lane, here goes your DK, in for the stun, the Gale will connect on the Night Stalker, quick silence and orb attacks, this is enough to kill off the Night Stalker, having to throw out the Nova as well, but the Lycan, under the cover of BKB, just moves forward. The Storm didn't allow DK to have any kind of reaction. Venomancer will fall, and Planet Dog just walk over the Dire side.
Yeah, 4 Protect 5 did not respect these BKBs that just came out, because it looked good initially, because DK had an Arcane rune actually, and that's an amazing rune to get on a DK. And they had Poison Nova. They didn't have the Overgrowth as mentioned earlier because the Treant had died, but you know, most of the other resources were there. But it's all resources that are dependent on your enemies not being spell immune. And as soon as the BKBs came out, DK just evaporated.
I just want to give a little bit of a praise to the Bane.
Yeah, what did he do?
So he disassembled his Glimmer Cape.
Okay.
So he was able to use a Shadow Amulet and just sit in the
yeah.
one position on the lane, and
I've seen that.
then reassembled it again.
Yeah.
Small thing, but the non-stop invis. I didn't actually realize that it wouldn't cancel the Shadow Amulet
Right.
when you combined it.
Because it's just like a buff that's placed on you, yeah. And I am somewhat surprised that he went for the Glimmer Cape. Most of the time, whenever you're support against a lineup that Planet Dog have, you are kind of railroaded into going for something like a Ghost Scepter because there's just so much right-click to be concerned about. But I imagine that Bane is trusting in his team. He's going to be like, if I'm able to get a Fiend's Grip off for like a few more seconds than usual, then hopefully we're able to get the one fight out of it. The problem is that Night Stalker has a gem completed, so a lot of the efficacy of that Glimmer Cape is lost because the magic resistance is almost irrelevant, really.
Yeah.
So you just got it for the invis, and that is useless against this gem, which it's not an Aghanim Scepter Night Stalker yet, but it will be very soon.
You already have like the semi-Ags upgrade, which is his third ability, the Hunter of the Night.
Exactly.
Like, just take to the skies, and when that happens in the middle of a fight, the Bane, there won't be a place to hide. But the Aghanim Scepter just arrived in for the POC, so he has that ultimate which can pierce the spell immunity. So those BKBs they had previously just to move wherever the hell they wanted to won't work for 33 or for Swift Ending.
Yeah, and that'll be important, assuming that 4 Protect 5 are able to find, I guess, like, DK built that Shadow Blade, and more often than not, when you build a Shadow Blade and you don't turn it immediately into a Silver Edge to break anything, then you are using it as an initiation tool. 4 Protect 5 has not been able to find initiation on anyone with this DK, really.
Well, Planet Dog always seems to be S5.
Exactly.
Like, how you're meant to initiate into the back lines when you don't know if you're underneath a sentry ward, you put your DK at risk. And now you're losing the tower trade-off. This is a tier 1 for a tier 1 and tier 2 that you're going to lose. And they're coming back to they're TPing in. So the tier 1 tower will fall. Puck's in the neighborhood. They don't actually have the gem. They saw him. They do have the gem. They didn't have the Aghanim Scepter. Off goes your duel. Lock him in position. Dragon Knight's gonna fall.
Bane? Oh.
Very lucky to TP out under the cover of Fog of War.
They do spend a BKB charge on Legion Commander to get that kill, but it's still a very important kill, being able to finish off that DK.
It's a DK. It's an extra tower in the tier 2. Like,
oh yeah, they did finish it, yeah.
Yeah, overall, like, they're just getting everything they want, and as you can see, the lead kicks back up again by about 6k. The experience is also reaching higher and higher. And this DPS build of the Venomancer is taking forever to come online.
Something that you're well familiar with, I'm sure.
Yeah, you just get locked up, and there's very little you can do to help out your teammates against this type of lineup from Planet Odd. They're going to sustain through you. So even if you come in for the team fight, because you don't have you don't have Veil, you don't have Axe. So you don't have that intimidation of your own team fight until you have DPS.
And even then, like, Razor hasn't really been too concerned about linking the Venomancer, but DK is becoming less of a factor. Venomancer is eventually going to become a greater factor, but aside from Pike, Venomancer doesn't really have the best mitigation for these static links. And now, Dancing Dragon under the cover of that Glimmer Cape, but it's timed out now.
Courier distracts him. Nightmare. Oh, it's going to keep the Razor out this fight. And there's a duel win. Very, very simple. So plus 98 damage just from the duel for Legion Commander.
Damn. Yeah, he's large, and he's going for a Silver Edge of his own. Completed the Shadow Blade on the Legion Commander, and once you break this DK, you really don't need to put any focus on him because it will take barely any time to finish him off once he doesn't have that Dragon Blood's passive armor.
It's also the damage reduction you get.
Exactly.
I believe it works the same way if he hits
E-skill, spot lane.
To the trees.
To the skies.
Yeah, he can't go to the skies. Millen can do that. Tree Protector is stuck on the ground. Rooted, you could say.
The high ground is too strong, and they are suspecting that he was placing some sort of cliff ward down here, but no, it was just trying to do some split push.
And now top lane fight. The duel will begin. They press the attack on the Razor and not actually the Legion Commander. But it's enough to get the win. 116 damage now in for 33.
So they're not actually going to be able to really do anything with this Aegis that they claimed on Razor, but, I mean, who cares? If you manage to find these picks and you don't have to spend it, it doesn't really matter to you. As it gets reclaimed, and now Milan looking, Dancing Dragon. He has the gem still, but put to sleep.
So he's just running away as quickly as he possibly can.
"30 seconds until night." Though without an Aegis, it's tough to say if Planet Dog want to... I mean, they definitely are in pretty strong lead, but one wrong team fight and suddenly this anemic Venomancer could suddenly start being a force to be reckoned with.
Well, they can buy the full butterfly now, at least. That's one upside.
He could.
So getting direct damage into him is actually still very, very doable.
Yeah. So you got to be pretty careful if you're playing a dog right now.
It just seems so odd. Like, the Venomancer isn't doing enough for the rest of his team to push. Defending is difficult, to say the least. Like, their nuke still only exists to breathe fire and an illusionary orb. And the Plague Wards have to do the rest of the work.
He's really banking on getting that 25 soon. So he's
I still want to see what he does. Like, if he goes to the
I
wards.
agreed with your justification.
It makes sense, and the fact that Plague Wards also hold the Poison Sting bonus, like, that is also
True.
a huge upgrade.
True.
Oh, and they just lost.
Oh no.
They just...
Rip Butterfly.
Yeah, you'll have to wait a little bit longer for that one.
Do you have a little bit longer?
I don't think so. Like, they have to win a fight right now. They need something, and 33 is going to run in, break the smoke. Who brought the reveal?
Milan's coming in.
The Sentry Wards and the Tree Protector. They saw him for a moment. Sentry Wards down. Now they get all the vision in the world, hide in the trees. BKB from Legion Commander has been burnt, while the Nightmare controls the Night Stalker, but his position gave him the vision to get rid of the Observer and Sentry. They should jump on the back lines. They're going on the Legion Commander. She needs to die, press the attack. Not enough time to get the one charges off as well. And now 5 lets the Nova go. It's minimal damage, however. You think it's going to do a lot, but really it hasn't done jack. They're going to lose everything here for Protect 5. The return of the Plaza Field, killing off the Tree Protector. Run away as quick as you can. And prepare the defense of your base.
Sometimes the net worth lead is kind of difficult to, like, it's difficult to see how influential a net worth lead is, but, like, Planet Dog did not play that team fight well, and yet they still handedly won it, and that's because they are so high ahead in net worth as now they are going to kill off the puck in a duel.
Oh boy.
And things are looking grim.
The brought back Legion Commander gets the kill, which will help you bring down the tier 3.
134 damage on her.
Yeah. So much.
And an
5,
AC
like,
now.
look at her 5's harassment. It's nothing. He connects the Gale, connects the Nova in the last fight, and it really doesn't achieve anything.
You just wait for that 25.
Swift is going to take the stun.
Purged.
25's not going to do shit.
But the slows!
The slows
Think
are
of
not
the
gonna-
slows!
No, 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 no. No matter how much we want to justify it, no matter how much we think it's going to have an effect.
Alright, how about this, though?
The issue is, like, even with all the slow, they don't have the damage output.
Well, what if he had that butterfly, though?
If he has the butterfly, he might survive a little bit longer just because of the evasion which can come with it.
But he's not going to kill anyone.
Exactly, and that's why I'm wondering, like, how does Fort Protect 5 solve that big problem? Like, you almost need to have something like a Veil coming out from one of the supports. Like, that would make more sense at the moment. The DK is too low in physical damage. He only just finishes up his Maelstrom now. Like, he's got the same net worth as the Legion Commander, but Legion has plus 134 damage from duel. So
That's a lot of hidden net worth.
yeah, even this is deceptive, and that's the 3 versus the 2 position as well. And then you got Howl on top of everything. This is what I'm wondering. Like, how do you survive with this lineup? It was meant to pressure early, and it doesn't seem to have achieved that objective at all.
No. And it's just sliding further and further down that cliff because DK had pretty like, you couldn't have asked for a better initiation on the Legion Commander. Night Stalker wasn't really cooperating with her in giving that vision with the gem onto the Shadow-Bladed DK or the Train Protector, so she spent BKB. Night Stalker went north, she went south, and then she was just like, well, I didn't find anything, my BKB is timed out, I'm gonna go back off. And then DK is like, great, this is a perfect opening for me, I'm gonna go in on you, I have my Frost Dragon form up and running, and yeah, you're right, just no damage to be able to like physically kill these targets, and now smoke instantly popped on the Train Protector. 4 other heroes still smoked though. But
they also smoked on top top of a wolf.
Yeah.
Like the wolf isn't breaking the smoke, but when you flash the field forward, you clip onto Dancing Dragon. The Observer was on the other side of the tree line, so they were fighting again in Division.
Smoke.
A secondary one committed. You Plague Ward, you got no Shrine to work with. At least you isolate the Legion Commander on the back lines. That's the way to go. You're able to bring down the Legion. Now how much more can Fort Protect 5 do? Holding and controlling Swiftling. They let the Nova go, and they've got the slow on their side. Swiftling wants to keep running it out. He armlet toggles his way through this. Dangerous, dangerous work to do. But now Razor, BKB's up. He is so slowed up, but doesn't matter when you stand your ground and fight. Another quick gale. Venomancer wall fall, and they are just way too far ahead. Glimpsing back the puck as well. A quick phase shift to dodge. He'll be able to blink down to the low ground and away to safety.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And yet again, another testament to how far ahead Planet Dog are. They eliminated Legion Commander straight out of the fight. Puck got a excellent Dream Coil onto the Razor and onto, I believe it was the Night Stalker as well. And so they stood into Dream Coil for a little bit, and they're like, we need to get as close to this fight as possible. Both of them snapped the Dream Coil after being held in place for like 3 seconds, and they still won the fight with basically 3 heroes.
Hey.
Yeah.
They did damage, alright?
God help them,
Dire did damage.
Bless
Fort
their
Protect 5
hearts.
was able to do some damage.
To be honest, I was sweating a little bit because Venomancer did go for the Plague War damage. We resolved that
Wait,
debate.
did he? I thought he
Yes.
actually went for the slow during
not.
it. He went for the Plague one.
Yes, he did.
Ah.
And so, Razor was taking, 3 times more Plague War damage. Problem is he has 18 armor, and he does not really care too much, so he just tossed snowballs right into Venomancer's face.
Why do I feel this is a response to, oh shit, we lost our tier 3 tower in the mid. Let's just put like a wall, like we're gonna build a wall right here.
And make the Radiant
That
pay for
they
it.
they can't cross it. Exactly. America. And then you have your Shiva's Guard for your extra slow you need. You buy time for the DK to potentially help win some of these fights.
But then you can't go for this build as a Venomancer, though. You can't go for a right-click build and not build right-click talents. I mean, not that it's gonna I don't want to give the impression that this is going to be night and day for a Venomancer.
Yeah, it's like doesn't even make that big of a difference
It's
with
not.
14% extra slow. Because how much does it add up to? Like you got 28% slow
Right.
for anyone that gets hit by a Plague Ward
Yeah.
or by the Veno.
The better question is, should Veno have gone for that Veil Ag build? Would the face of the game be different? Because BKBs would guaranteed be 5 seconds right now. And they may have built it earlier to deal with the Venomancer build if he had gone for that, but would they still be in this position at 43 minutes into the game?
It's a lot of Captain Hindsight.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous against the Legion because
We
she
can
can
call
just
up,
purge off
fly.
a lot. You would have seen Planet Dog probably change the right and builds as well to try and survive that a little bit better. Then again, we did see a very quick pipe come out.
Right.
So you got no implication for your magical damage because the pipe is already blocking it. Personally, I would have preferred to see a lane change up and have the Venomancer on bottom, getting really aggressive against Lycan. Lycan goes for Howl, sure, but you can run the dual lane where you have the puck up on the top. The DK pickup also makes me wonder, where was that bite really going to come from their lineup? The DK is this, we can force down buildings, we can force down towers, but they weren't the ones to do that in the first place.
No, and the window to change that kind of dynamic is pretty slim with the DK as well, because he's not a hero that suddenly starts snowballing out of control. DK has a very linear power curve. No matter how bad things go or how good things go, you can kind of track a DK's trajectory.
Hey, these guys are tagged up as 4 Protect 5. I don't care if they're labeled as 4 Protect 1. Well, yeah, no, the team is 4 Protect 5. I shouldn't read Twitch chat.
Based off of their playstyle, I can agree with that.
It really, like...
Because, I mean, Venomancer was pretty well protected.
True.
The problem is, like, what did you do with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's looking at a Satanic.
Oh, okay. I mean, he stayed alive in that fight for a very, very long time.
Yeah, but you could also build Nocturine and get the same kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
It's very, like, it's like he's trying to play this like a different hero than what the Venomancer is.
Well, it feels like he's one step behind, like, consistently.
Oh, they jump him. Straight up duel. They silence him as well.
Nice
Nightmare will buy some space from Dancing Dragon, but it doesn't matter when they just break through it. So they have to buy back on the Venomancer. TP into the middle of the fight, which will allow a perfect Nova, a 5-man Nova, push him away and keep him alive. Continuing the overgrowth, a break free, a Fiend Script just cannot do enough. The Nova, however, oh, it doesn't matter. They're tanking through it. Even the Shrine couldn't keep the DK alive. 33 so low, he can't press the attack. They give him the cheese just in time to regenerate back up again. And here they come once more. The dog's turn. The teeth is bared. And they really want to kill off 5 if it is going to be possible. Puck, quick heals and bail out. Missed his timing, however, couldn't blink and couldn't orb out. Well, Plague Wards, hold your ground.
This working.
They're going to kill him.
Oh.
But then again, this is a bigger one. The Nightmare, it just gets bounced between the two of them. They can't finish the duel. A nightmare of a situation. Venomancer will fall. There's a dieback for him. 2 minutes on the sideline. And with Lycan still up, Wolf Form freshly triggered. This will be 2 lanes of ranks at least, but they'll just call the GG and save us the trouble.
I would call this almost certainly a draft loss. Even if they did stick with that draft, if it wasn't a draft loss, then it was definitely like a laning loss. They could have definitely rearranged things in a way that Venomancer would be able to be useful at different stages of the game. Like I was saying, that he almost seems one step behind, like, consistently. He got this Pike to be able to react to this Razor who was, like, getting out of control. He got this Mantis style to be able to react to this Nightstalker that was getting out of control. And then he went for this Butterfly because all of the right-clickers, the Legion Commander and the Lycan, were starting to get out of control.
You're asking him to control too much.
That's what you want from a 1 position, though.
Yeah. Well, they didn't get it. So 4 Protect 5 will end up losing that one. Planet Dog add another win to their board. And the European qualifier could still be anyone's. First position in the group stage gets to move through. And the rest of them had to fight it out in the double elimination bracket to get that last spot for TI. We'll find out who it's going to be after break. Do we actually know who's coming up next?
Yes, we do.
Oh,
it's going to be Penta versus the Champions qualifier, which is Alliance.
Sick.
Yeah, boy.
Welcome to a long game coming up, boys. All right, we'll see you soon.